I appreciate that. Okay, so how I like to start the webinars off after the agenda is a real quick thank you for the meal of the month to Napa School District. Again, if you want to send these to Sharon, our admin, send any pictures of your lunch or breakfast menus to Sharon. And well, hopefully by the end of the school year, we have a great resource to share with you guys of some really cool meals that you guys are giving to the students here in Idaho. So again, thank you so much and great job, you guys, getting good, healthy meals out. Sean, you want to take it away? Oh, we can't hear you. Uh-oh, no.
Okay, Lynda will do it.
All right.
All right, supply chain assistance reminder. Remember that SFAs have to collect your funds from the GRA before May 19th, 2023. On that day, we're going to reallocate funds to other sponsors that will need the supply chain assistance funds. They have to be distributed per regulation to LEAs before September 30th. So if your LEA or your sponsor does not want the supply chain assistance funds, let us know and we can reallocate those to schools that do need it. Remember, you can collect all of the money first and then spend it on supply chain assistance needs. And that is American commodities. There is no Buy American exemption for this. And you just have to keep the receipts for that. And it can be milk and eggs. We know those are going up. So remember, collect it. Talk to your business manager, collect them from the GRA, because as of May 19th, we will sweep it and give it to other schools that can use it.
All right. Thank you, Lynda.
Thanks, Jamie.
Okay, so now we're going to be starting to cover on-site monitoring for this year. So the School Food Authority on-site monitoring must be completed no later than February 1st, which is coming up just on the horizon next week. The School Food Authority on-site review checklist must be completed for this review, and this required form is available in download forms of my Idaho CNP if y'all are looking for it. The self-monitoring form helps check program compliance, which may reduce the number of findings and technical assistance identified during an administrative review. This form can also be a useful tool to monitor employee performance and identify areas requiring additional staff training. So not only is it a required element, but hopefully it can help you see any deficiencies that you might see at some of your guys' sites. And in case you're wondering how to go about this, there is an online training on how to conduct this review and complete the required form. This is available in the CNP Digital Learning Portal. This training is titled 2023 Online SFA or SFA On-Site Monitoring. Okay, so now we're going to be hopping into adult meal prices and talking about what we're going to need for the minimum amount for the next school year. So refer to these prices up here. The minimum adult prices for adult meals are calculated each year using the value of a free student meal, the value of USDA foods, and sales tax. Because the annual renewal process occurs prior to the release of new reimbursement rates, the previous year's minimum price is required for application approval. During the school year 23-24 renewal, the required minimum adult meal price is the price identified for school year 22-23. You may set your adult meal prices higher than the minimums, but must at least meet the identified value of the prior school year. Please note that the November webinar that we held announcing the school year 22-23 prices included a higher rate due to the extra reimbursement this school year as a part of the Keep Kids Fed Act. That additional reimbursement has been removed to show the correct value of the a free student meal, which is shown here. So remember to take steps now to have your adult meal prices approved before renewal opens in April. And just also a quick reminder that any fee increases over 5% requires compliance with Idaho Code 63-1311A. Okay, so now we're going to step into talking about a new major addition to the food allergens, which is sesame. So effective January 1st, 2023, sesame has joined the list of major food allergens defined in the law as the result of the Food Allergy Safety, Treatment, Education, and Research Act, also known as the FASTER Act. Foods containing sesame will be subject to specific food allergen regulatory requirements, including labeling and manufacturing requirements. Sesame joins 8 other major food allergens, which are cow's milk, eggs, peanuts, tree nuts, wheat, soy, fish, and shellfish. And be mindful. So going through with this addition, be mindful for these specific ingredients when you're looking for a sesame allergy, when you're looking at that ingredient list. So they're going to be beniseed oil and beniseed, gingerly and gingerly oil, sesamol, semolina, sesamum indicum, sim, tahini, till. And then also some ones that you might want to be a little bit more careful with are vegetable oil, natural flavoring, spice, and seasoning. These ones can be a little bit tricky. So if you're suspicious that there might actually be sesame products inside of that product, then I would contact either your vendor or your manufacturer to get more specific details for your kiddos that need to abstain from eating anything with sesame in them.
Thank you, Jax. Okay, quick snippet from Marianne.
Awesome. Thanks, everyone. Good morning, everyone. I hope you all had a wonderful break. This is Marianne Leiby with the summer food team. So we wanted to just provide some summer food service program reminders for our SFSP sponsors. Of course, with the holidays behind us, you all know what that means, and that is planning for our summer nutrition operation is around the corner. So for the current SFSP sponsors that are planning to return this summer, the welcome back broadcast email was sent last week. If you have not seen it, please be sure to look for it in your inbox and refer to this email as it provides instructions on how to complete your SFSP renewal packet this year, especially for this year because we did update some of the numbering system into your site application. So please be sure to refer to the instruction sheet that was attached along with the broadcast email. As a reminder, the SFSP renewal packet is due by Friday, April 28th, but of course, the state agency prefers the sooner the better. Also, the registration for the mandatory annual training is also open, so please be sure to sign up for the one nearest to you. In addition, as part of the Welcome Back broadcast email, it was announced that the state agency has had a system upgrade called the SFSP Meal Counter. For the SFSP sponsors, you guys probably remember the survey that you took last year. If you're interested in learning more about this software to determine if you would like to utilize it for summer 2023, please be sure to register for the SFSP Meal Counter Zoom training happening in February. And that is all through the IDL training portal. So please be sure to look for the training that is most convenient for you. And then lastly, if you have not already filled it out, please be sure to fill out the summer 2023 plan survey. This was sent out last month. I will be adding it on the chat box so that the link so that it's easy access for you all. Really by completing this survey, it will provide our CNP team to have very targeted targeted conversations on available programs that can be operated during the summer months when school session is out. So please be sure to fill that out if you have not already. And as always, if you have any SFSB questions, please feel free to contact the state agency. And we are looking forward to working with you all again this summer. Thanks, everyone. And I will turn it back to Jamie.
Great, thank you, Marianne. Okay, back to NSLP, Wellness Policy Triennial Assessment Reminder. As everyone knows, Idaho did opt into waiver 7 this school year to extend the deadline for the triennial assessment. So that ends June 30th, 2023. Again, every LEA participating in NSLP or school breakfast must assess their local wellness policy every 3 years at a minimum. You are able to use our little green Excel sheet we have posted in download forms or on the SDE website as a tool to go into your sites and assess the implementation of the wellness policy throughout your district. And then another reminder that you do need to make sure that your wellness policy is posted to open to the community and the public, and then any updates are also made available to the public, and then that assessment, once completed, needs to also be posted and made available to the public. So if you opted into the waiver this school year, you might have set a deadline that was different than June 30th of this year. You might have had a different deadline for your district to do the assessment, but the waiver for Idaho ends on June 30th. So if it was your time and you were 3 years into your last assessment, go ahead and make sure that's on a meeting or a plan agenda, so that can be done for your district before the end of the school year. And let us know if you have any questions on that. I've linked here FNS. They have a whole website with a bunch of resources to help you go in and learn about the triennial assessment. Has some resources, some model policies, and also some resources to use in your district. The local school wellness policy outreach toolkit was released not too long ago, which is a bunch of communication and modifiable resources, including flyers, presentations for school staff and parents, newsletters, and example social media posts. If you are using your social media to do some outreach for your wellness policy, it has some example posts there. So I've linked that as well, and that's on the FNS website as well. So if you would like to utilize those, they're made available. And again, if you have any questions, just reach out to us. Turn it over to Kat.
Hey everyone. I have been coughing for 6 weeks, so I apologize if I start barking. So just wanted to remind others that letters were sent out on December 19th for procurement reviews for the second half of the year. I would need you to upload the nonprofit food service account ledger, which is the 290 fund. There's a vendor template that I sent to you along with directions, just needing you to fill in all the vendors that you use when you spend that 290 fund. And then I would need you to attach the procurement policies and the code of conduct. All of these items can be attached in my Idaho CNP under the procurement module. I've been getting a lot of questions saying that you've been uploading your vendor template and it seems to be duplicating. If you've uploaded it one time and maybe you didn't think it worked and then you went ahead and uploaded it again, it would duplicate everything. Unfortunately, once that happens, you can't change it, but please just drop me a quick email and I'm able to go in there and delete the duplicates for you. Procurement reviews should not take long at all. We'll back and forth email with each other. I'll be asking you for the information. I'll help you know where to upload it. And if you can't get it uploaded, if you send it to me, I'm more than happy to do that too. I don't want the procurement review to scare you or freak you out. It's really not that bad. What's happening this year and going forward is if you are also getting an administrative review on the resource management part of that review, I'm going to be the one doing the information in there in the 700 module. So I'll be asking for some of the same things. So the 290 fund is really important. And when you upload that, please remember to make it for your revenues and your expenses. And then that way I'm able to use it for both reviews. And then at the end, when it asks me questions as to whether you keep documentation of how you make your purchases while I'm doing the procurement review, I'm also checking that. So it kind of goes hand in hand with these two reviews. So remember, if you have any questions, don't fret and worry, just call me or email me, and I'm more than happy to walk you through it and let you know what next steps are. So if you are getting a procurement review, you can go into my Idaho CNP, go into your procurement module, and it'll let you know. You'll see a date in there, and it'll let you know that I'm going to be conducting that review. So that's pretty much it. Thanks, everybody.
All right, thank you, Kat. And I can turn it over to you. Share my screen.
Perfect. Jamie, it won't let me share my screen until you stop sharing yours.
Okay, sorry, let me
No
figure out how to
worries.
do that. Gosh, I'm sorry, I can't.
Well, I'll just start talking while you're working on that. So thank you, first of all, for giving me a few moments to talk about the Dairy West grants that are coming up. These are similar to the ones that we've done over the last couple of years. You'll see a lot of the same packages and also the addition of a new one that I'm excited to introduce to you. I have some great pictures of them that we're going to anytime now, no worries. I'm just going to go through a few of the details. So these grants will open up on February 1st, which is coming up soon, and then they will close on March 1st. So we love it if you get right in there and apply for these before right at the first. So don't hesitate to just get started and get in there to apply for these. So they will close again on March 1st. We have 8 options to apply for. And then I just really want to let you know that the application is so easy. So if you plan on maybe 15-20 minutes to work through this, you'll have more than ample time to make sure that you get in there and apply. We do not base our grants on free and reduced rates. We don't base them on that need, which makes it a little more open to all of the schools across the state. So our first set of grants is our breakfast grants, and these are really meant for breakfast after the bell options. The first one is a mobile serving line with the grab and go that you can put in your hallways. This works really well with junior high and high schools, especially for second chance breakfast, as well as when they're coming right in the door, making it available in the areas that they are in, rather than having them come all the way to the cafeteria. So we've seen some really great increases with participation with that model. There's also the breakfast in the classroom model. So you'll see 2 different ones depending on your serving style, if you serve from the hallway or if you serve to individual classrooms. And this really works best in elementary schools. So those 3 different options for breakfast. We also have hot chocolate milk. And I want you to remember that these grants will close the grants on March 1st, and then we'll do an approval process that we'll go through. Our goal is really to have this equipment out to you by the end of the school year so that you can begin these programs at the first of the school year. So really think ahead with these, especially with hot chocolate milk. This is a great program for fall and really helps to increase your participation as well. Latte mobile carts, of course, these can only happen in our secondary schools. Lattes are a big deal right now. They've come up with some new guidelines, so make sure that you check in on those guidelines as well for latte mobile lines. And then a combination mobile cart. This combines all of the ones that we just talked about. So you can do a combination of hot chocolate milk, lattes, and smoothies, which I will show you in just a moment. And the equipment will come for each one of these serving types. so that you can add them. If you want to change up your menu and add these on different days, it's really a great way with the marketing to combine all of those to make that a possibility. And smoothies is the other one. Somehow I left that out of this slideshow, but smoothies will be similar to this mobile cart here as well, and it features the smoothie mobile lines. USDA has a really great smoothie guideline and toolkit that they have that we include with our own that gives you some really good guidelines on how to make sure that your smoothies are reimbursable. So we'll include that in this package as well. One thing I really want to note is that this comes with all the marketing pieces, which really helps to market this program and helps to bring in additional participation in your programs. This one is a new one that we're going to release this grant cycle. It's a cultural summer meals tour. So if any of you participated in our Dairy World tour, we have based this on the 6 countries that we visited as part of that Dairy World tour. This really gives the kids in your summer meals program the opportunity to participate in seeing what happens in other countries around the world, which a lot of these you're going to have students in your programs that are from these countries or know of people from these countries or want to learn about these different countries. So there's an activity passport that they can have a sticker or a stamp that will go into the back of it for each week that you're featuring each one of these 6 countries. And then at the end, they get a prize that we will provide to your programs as well, that they can show their passport and show that they visited at least once during each of the 6 weeks that you had the school meals. And we really, our hope is really that you will see a huge increase in participation with this increased interaction with the kids. There would be marketing that goes with this, as well as the equipment that it takes to start a new summer meals program. So if you're ready to start a new site, to begin a new summer program, this would be a really great one to apply for. We are also looking at doing just a marketing only package on this. It's not part of our grant program right now, but you could reach out to me and we can get you the marketing pieces if you want to add this to your current summer meals program. So here's the information on how to apply. Watch for an email that will come out on February 1st. It will include the link and everything you need to know in order for you to be able to apply. Or you can apply directly at our website at dairywest.com. Easy process. We also have added an instructional video if you're worried about how to make sure that you click everything and do everything correctly. There's a quick 2-minute video that will walk you through the process so you don't miss anything on that as well. As always, if you have any questions, please reach out to me. Again, my name is Dina Benson and my email is here. And with that, if there are any questions, I'd be happy to answer any questions that you may have. Okay, if not, feel free to reach out to me anytime. And then I'll look forward to your applications coming in between February 1st and March 1st. Thank you again for the time.
Awesome. Thank
Hey,
you.
Dina, there
Yeah.
appears to be one question for you. Where do you find the guidelines for the latte coffee? Do you happen to have that one handy?
I don't have it handy with me right at the moment, but I can send it to you, Lynda. They have some updates through the USDA. They haven't come out with like a toolkit like they have with the smoothies yet, although I see that that's going to come. The biggest thing that we see is that you need to make sure that the milk is being served as part of the meal and that it stays that way until after the point of service to be counted. So you're going to want your latte, the coffee, to be added after that point of service to make sure that that's an addition to your meal instead of in place of their milk. So that's really the only update and guideline that they have. Let me get that to you, Lynda, that update. and figure out where that is on the USDA website. I received an update that hopefully I can pass along to you to get out to everyone.
Okay, thank you very much. I would appreciate it, and I'll be able to somehow get it out to the people who are asking questions. Thank you.
Yeah. And, you know, always they're welcome to email me as well. And once I have that, that resource ready, I can email it to them as well.
Awesome. Thanks, guys. And then the last question that just came in is it just for high school? I don't think it includes middle school. And yeah, the latte drinking specifically would just be for high school, no middle school or elementary.
Right. Any of these can be used in all schools except for the lattes. The caffeinated drinks cannot be anywhere other than the high schools as per your USDA guidelines. Yes. Sorry, I was just reading April's message here as well. The mobile cart came with brochures. It's true. We do send you out a toolkit with best practices that go with it. So you can include the 8 ounces of milk as the students go through, and then they can add that 2 ounces of coffee to their milk. You can give them an additional cup and let them add that decaf. There's, you know, there's no, of course, you're welcome to use decaf as well.
Thank you, Dina. I appreciate you letting us put you on the hot seat for this.
Oh, I always love the hot seat. Thanks, Lynda.
Okay.
Awesome. Well, that does wrap up our webinar for today. If there's any other questions, keep them coming. We'll stay online for a bit until they slow down. So
Real quick, Jamie, I do want to jump in. I just want to point out a typo that we had on the sesame allergy slide.
okay.
So it had said semolina, which is not an ingredient that you're going to want to look for. That's like a durum wheat flour. So ignore that. I was supposed to put in sesamolina or sesamolin, which is like a lignin that's found in sesame itself. So just note that, everybody, before you get off the call.
Good catch. Right. And yeah, please feel free to email us if you think of anything after the webinar. Looks like we have one question.
It says what?
Go ahead, Lynda.
Sorry.
No, you're fine.
When do the supply chain funds need to be completely spent? Different rules for different places. We have to get it out to the schools or SFAs by September 30th. You have no deadline to spend them. You just have to spend them on unprocessed USA foods. They keep using commodities and I don't want to confuse you. So anything you can get from the USA, apples, I was going to throw in pineapple. You can't get that unless you get it from Hawaii, but you have to get all the food from USA and you can spend it as long as you like, as long as the funds are there, but we have to have it out to the schools by September 30th. I almost said 31st. Sorry. I know there is no such thing.
Okay, then the next question, probably USDA commodities used during summer program? Question mark.
Yeah, Jamie, thank you. Hi, April. This is Marianne from the SFSP team. I guess just for clarification, if you're asking about the SFSP program, that is something that we would need to double check with TJ about, but I believe it is a specific amount that you receive to be able to utilize during the SFSP operation. Now, for the other programs like SSO, or let's say if you were operating NSLP during the summer months, we would need to have a follow-up on that one just to be sure. Unless Kat from the USDA Foods team knows the answer to that one.
that Kat does not know the answer to
No.
that one.
Thank you, Kat. But yes, I can definitely follow up with you, April, on this specific question.
And then
Okay.
there was one about the on-site monitoring. Go ahead, Jackson.
Yep. So it was, where do we submit the SFA on-site monitoring review form that's due on February 1st? So that one, we're not going to have you submit it anywhere, but we will be checking for it on an administrative review. So make sure that you keep it for 3 years plus the current, just as you should with the rest of your records.
Thank you. Okay, and then Sean emailed this one via chat, but how do you make sure the business manager has requested all the funds for the supply chain? And you can go ahead and email Sean Charters and she will give you some numbers or remaining balances if you need a specific number. And adult meal prices, what was on
So
the,
So yeah, the adult meal prices that were on the screen during this presentation were correct, which I believe were $265 and $470 for SBP and NSLP respectively. So those ones right there that Jamie just pulled up, those will be the ones that are going to be required as of this next year when we go through renewal.
okay, and who do I contact to find the date of our last school breakfast review?
And if you just contact anyone on the NSLP team, you can just send an email in general to the NSLP team, but I'll go ahead and look into it right now and I'll send you a email afterward.
Awesome, thanks, Jax. Okay, haven't had any other questions trickle in, but we'll stay on a little longer.
Hey, Jamie, can you post the website for the wellness policy?
Okay, was it this one or this one? This link is going to lead you to the next link no matter what. This is kind of the hub for FNS wellness policy resources that can get you to that outreach toolkit. And I do believe that this link is linked on our SDE website. So if you go to the SDE website, it'll link to that.
Okay, so we just got a question for clarification about the adult meal prices. So it does say school year 22-23 on the previous adult meal price slide. So the way that it works is renewal starts and is supposed to conclude before they release the new rates for the new year, which usually happens in July. So when we're going through renewal, April to June, we have to use the previous school year's free or a paid student meal price or free student meal price. So for school year 23-24, we'll be using the price for school year 22-23, and this is the same every year. So we have to use the previous years. So theoretically, right now, your adult meal price is set to the adult meal price from school year 21-22, using it for school year 22-23, if that makes any sense. I know it's kind of a little bit tricky, but I hope that helps answer your question.
Thank you, Jax. And we were able to get some of the latte guidance posted in the comments as well. Yeah, it was.
And just so you know, the people that were asking about the latte, I kept a note of your names and what Dina put into the chat. I have copied and sent to you.
Thank you, Lynda. All right. Oh, can you please send that to Sierra as well?
Lynda, I just sent you an email with that information as well.
Thank you, Dina.
All right, well, thank you again, everybody, for joining us this morning. If you think of anything last minute, go ahead and shoot us an email. Remember, we have program-specific emails, but child nutrition, it'll get to where it needs to go. And I hope you have a great rest of your January. We'll see you next month.
Thank you, everybody, for taking time out and attending.